For years, security researchers, exploit developers, and even entire government agencies have tried to break into iPhones, and have failed more often than they'd like to admit. In a world where every device around you can be hacked, from your laptop, your Wi-Fi router, your smart TV, one company constantly manages to hold the line against attackers: Apple. But the real reason their devices are so difficult to crack goes way deeper than just good security. It's woven into the hardware, the software, and even the business model itself. First, let's start with the obvious. Apple is known for loving control, and when it comes to their products, they control everything. They control the hardware, the software, and even what apps are allowed to run on your phone. And while people call it a walled garden, from a security perspective, this tight ecosystem means many things. No sideloading random apps, no shady third-party installers, and everything goes through App Store security reviews and even human checks. Everything, and I mean everything, goes through layers of automated scans, code signing checks, malware analysis, and human review before it can even touch your device. It's not just about gatekeeping who can enter this ecosystem, but reducing its attack paths, because fewer paths means fewer possible hacks. And when you're trying to secure over 1 billion active devices, reducing the number of possible attacks isn't just smart, it's necessary. But here's where things get interesting. Every modern Apple device carries a hidden coprocessor called the Secure Enclave. This chip is the brains behind the security of all Apple devices. Think of it as a tiny ultra-protected vault inside your device. It has its own processor, its own operating system, its own encrypted memory, and it doesn't trust anything outside of it. This is also where the data is stored for Face ID and Touch ID. It stores passcodes, encrypts sensitive information, and even runs its own microkernel. Even iOS and macOS, which are the main operating systems, aren't allowed to peek into the enclave. If a hacker somehow compromised the OS, they'd still be locked out of the most sensitive data. This is why brute forcing an iPhone is insanely difficult. Get the wrong password too many times and it starts slowing down by minutes, then hours, then days. But this is where Apple starts doing it completely different from other devices such as Android and Windows. Unlike other companies, Apple designs both the hardware and the operating system. This allows them to build the defense directly into the silicon with things such as brute process verification, crypto acceleration, memory protections, and even custom security coprocessors. Apple controls every model, allowing them to push updates to hundreds of millions of devices instantly, shutting down exploits faster than hackers can weaponize them. While most companies build security on top of their hardware, Apple builds security inside the hardware. But they didn't just stop there. Every app on your Apple device lives in what's called a sandbox. What that means is that no app can read another app's data. It can't mess with system files, and it can only access what you explicitly allow. It's like giving every app its own tiny jail cell. Even if the app is compromised, the attacker is stuck inside of a digital prison that is extremely hard to break out of. And here's the wild part. If you find a way out of this sandbox, Apple has a bounty program that can pay you upwards of 6 figures, but only if you tell them how you did it. Next, let's talk about firmware. Apple firmware is signed, verified, and encrypted. When your device starts up, it goes through a secure boot chain: hardware, bootloader, kernel, and then the OS. If any of these steps are skipped or tampered with, the device simply won't boot. This is a big reason why you don't see iPhone malware spreading like you would on a Windows PC. You can't just modify boot files or overwrite system partitions. So Apple security stops hackers before they start. Last but not least, we reach the part that hackers absolutely hate. Apple is not an advertising company, as they are not built on selling your data, and because of that, they lock down on ad tracking, app permissions, background data access, and third-party APIs. Unlike many other tech giants in the world, Apple doesn't survive on ad tracking to be profitable. Their entire brand relies on privacy, so that pressure pushes them to stay paranoid about security. But let's be real, nothing is truly unhackable. Governments, security researchers, and jailbreak developers do find exploits, but Apple's system makes it so that it's hard to find vulnerabilities, and nearly impossible to scale attacks to millions of users. So are Apple devices unhackable? Well, obviously not, but it's incredibly rare, and if someone does find a security flaw, who's to say that they won't cash out? But that's it for this video. If you liked it, I'll see you at the next one.